Hello, I'm coming on here to have some company, I suppose, even though I'm not actually talking to anyone, whilst I quilt this pumpkin, as you do. Not frustrated with my sewing project, thankfully. My frustrations are more with the world and what's going on. A few things have highlighted it today, but one of the things is that Roydon Hall, the community centre where I had been hoping to, my latest plan of attack or action, latest plan of action sounds better. My latest plan of action was that I try and do some patchwork workshops at Roydon Hall. Because a friend of mine, Jane, has been doing some dressmaking sessions there. Now, as you can imagine, I cannot run socials because that's the nature of socials has always been that you can bring along whatever project you are currently sewing. And the difference is, the service we can offer is that you can sew it in amongst other people. You can enjoy talking to others about your project. You can walk around seeing and helping other people in the room. But that does suggest moving around, helping other people with their sewing machine problems or sewing them with their whatever issues they've got sewing or general life problems. Just chatting and mingling and enjoying and having a cup of tea and a natter and doing all of those things that are now considered illegal. Who'd have thought actually having a chat and enjoying connecting with other people was illegal? And all of that is really playing on my mind. I'm probably going to wander a lot in this little clip, and it'll be, obviously it's up to you whether you want to hear it or not. But why I'm sharing my quilting of this project and venting my spleen as such is because, like I said, Roydon Hall has had to make the very difficult decision to not have any more sessions in the hall because the guidelines are just so blooming, I'm going to swear for God's sake, they're so bloody confusing. It's impossible almost to tell what is the right thing. And so I don't blame them at all. This is not an event at Roydon Hall whatsoever. This is at the current situation and how every thing we do that involves another human is considered illegal or bad, and that messes with my mental health somewhat rotten. Obviously, I'd only done this in the last week. It's barely been 2 weeks since I've had this idea and this inspiration to another avenue of me being able to connect with other sewists in a face-to-face situation. Now, obviously, no, like I was saying earlier, I hadn't planned to run socials because that's completely irresponsible. All that I'm saying here today is not me wanting to make a wish to be completely irresponsible. Far from it. It's me having a responsibility and a feeling the need to help other people. So what I was going to be doing was running a workshop, a bit like a class session. Afraid there could be no going around helping others on their machines or their projects. They'd be talking from a distance of at least 2 meters and masks and hand space and all of those things, taking all of those guidelines and regulations into consideration. I am not suggesting for 1 minute that I'd been hoping to just abandon all regulations and just ignore them. That is not what I am saying here. So that's what I had hoped to do, but Roydon Hall has decided to wave the flag, and rightly so, understandably so, because the guidelines are just so bloody confusing. So you find me here sewing away my frustrations indeed. And that's one thing that sewing is very good for. As you can see, I could go faster if I wanted, but not when I'm talking. I don't think that's a good idea. Just sewing away like this, it's almost one stitch at a time. And I'm looking at the colour, I'm looking at the marks on my presser foot, I'm looking at the patterns, I'm looking at the other stitching that I'm working around. I'm not letting the current situation damage me at all, so to speak. I'm just riding with it and rolling along, and I thought filming it is another way of me trying to connect with others out there who are perhaps feeling the same, or others are so missing their social connections, because that's what I'm about. Some people love being locked away. Some people will hide in their bedroom or in their house and never come out ever again, maybe, because nobody will ever be able to tell us that this is gone for good. Nah, it's not going to happen. There's always going to be something. Humans, I'm afraid, can die of so many things, and COVID is only one of them. But I am not a person who can lock myself away in my room and feel joy in that. I do love sewing, yes I do, and as I'm here on my own now, yes. But I am a person who I just need to connect with other people, even if it's people who irritate me. I need that connection, and when you find a connection with people who enjoy doing things like this, who enjoy doing what I enjoy doing, that's an all-powerful feeling, and we're not getting that at the moment. And the people I want to reach are those who feel that way as well. Yes, they enjoy learning about new sewing or craft or whatever. Well, I'm going to talk about sewing, creative sewing, because that's my thing. I think I'm nearly finished this little section here. I've done that side before. Oopsies. Done that side of the pumpkin before. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? I know. See, I've just got to finish off. I think I might just do one more row of stitching there to finish it off. But I'm wanting to reach people who feel the same as me and who are not benefiting at all from this lockdown. They are feeling frustrated, stressed, angry, sad, all those other emotions that we're feeling, because it's not possible to share and to be around other people. Because I don't know if you know, I live up in the northwest. I'm actually on the Wirral, and most of the country is now under firmer lockdown rules again. But yeah, there we go. So that's, I don't know, I think you can see fairly well. If I bring it up really close, there we go, bear with, you can see the texture that quilting brings. And again, if you're new to this, all quilting is just stitching. It's just holding the 3 layers together. So if you look at the side there is actually a front, a back, and inside there is some wadding. I haven't got any on the table to give it the padding that the placemat needs. So it's not complicated, but I tell you what, while I've got you here, let me see, dare I put myself on the... Yeah, there you go. The one thing I will say to you that I love, and is a little new present I've got, is this presser foot. I don't know if you can... If I can try and get round, I'm trying to do it without, there you go, you can just see the back of it there. It's a great big daddy of a thing, and it's a walking foot as such, but it's an electronic walking foot that is actually attached to Bertie, my brother. He's a brother VX5. I don't know if it's showing you that. No, probably not. And you've probably been listening to me as I've been stitching, and I could keep going on a bit more here now. It'd make good sense, wouldn't it? There we go. So follow that. What I'm going to do is follow this satin stitching. I'm trying to create more of the curve shape with the quilting. There's a million and one things I could do, but that's fine. But I'm actually doing this. And you know, another thing that I like about stitching at the moment in particular is it's in my control, whereas the rest of our world, so little of it is actually in our control. Everybody else seems to be telling us what we can and can't do. Not that we understand what we can and can't do, because the regulations are so flipping confusing. I was looking at them yesterday, even down to work canteen hours are confusing. I looked, in one paragraph it said that they couldn't open between the hours of 10 and 5 a.m. And then, like literally 2 paragraphs further down, it said that work canteens are an exception. Anyway, these are just the confusions and the frustrations that I'm trying to stitch out. But there you go. That's what I was saying. So with this walking foot, you can hear that funny noise, but it just takes the fabric through so nicely. I got this from Lord's at Oswald Twistle because I phoned Kirsty, who works there and is fabulous, stitcher in herself, but she's just a fabulous person as well. And I had to admit to her that I'd actually broken my other walking foot, and she couldn't believe how anybody could manage to do that. But anyway, I managed it. One of the things, I haven't got it here with me. One of the things sort of broken on the side, but this guy is like metal and all around here, and his Teflon coated. I could go through it all. Phone Kirsty at Lord's in Oswald Twistle and ask her all about it. They're not cheap. I think full price. I got a pre-loved one. I think full price is £200 or something. But I tell you what, I've got a 1/4 inch. These come off. This little flappy bit here, that comes off. They've got a 1/4 inch adapter thing and also an open toe foot for it. I don't know if I will ever take this adaptation off. I think I might be sewing, obviously, unless I do free motion, I might use this all the time. Especially, like you say, it's quite a decent expenditure. But it's fabulous to sew with. And it just, when I did this satin stitch that I've formed more shaping on the pumpkin, I did that with this foot on as well, and it just stitches a dream. I could go much faster than this, but like I say, I'm being filmed. I could do without really naughty swearing on here. I don't need anybody to hear me screaming and yelling. But it is a fabulous foot. I don't think it's called a walking foot. I'm calling it dual feed foot. I think that's what it's called. And this is obviously from my brother machine, because my brother, like I said, is a Innovis V5. He's an old model now. He was pre-loved as well, but oh my God, I've had him years now, and I absolutely adore the way he lets me stitch. He's absolutely amazing. I absolutely love him. And yes, you can love machines. It is allowed. Right, so the project I've been doing and what I'd wanted to do in the workshops at Roydon Hall was these scrappy applique projects. Now, the appeal for me is that it's I said mindless the other day, and somebody rightly, I think it was Bev Evans Art, she pulled me up on that, and rightly so. She said it's mindful, not mindless. But what I mean by mindless is it's quite different and freeing than normal patchwork piecing. Most people find patchwork quite strict, and I think they think it's quite old-fashioned, which I find laughable. You want to see Lou Orth's pattern and Sarah Ashford and Louisa Galt. These are the designers. There's so many. These are British designers as well, by the way. They're not old-fashioned, but patchwork piecing, precision does give you the best results, and it's fabulous to work towards. Now, at the moment, my head is struggling to focus enough really for that sort of thing. I've decided to go along the scrappy applique route because there are mistakes, yes, but it's a lot freer than traditional patchwork piecing methods. Ooh, let me just get one more row, I think, in there. So I was going to be teaching these because in these current times, I feel a lot of people are going to feel that. They're feeling that their ability to concentrate and focus on something is restricted right now. Yet they still want to sew, they still want to create things like me. Did I bring the scissors with me? No, probably not. I'll cut that in a bit. I'll just do this back section, I think, now. Oh, I'm liking that. Can you see it? Can you see the texture? Ooh. Zoom in. Isn't it gorgeous? The texture of all those rows of just basic stitching. Yeah, so I'm sure there will be plenty of other people who feel the same as me and are worried about doing anything that takes too much concentration, because our brains are so addled with the constant, oh, you can do this, oh, no, you can't do this, yes, you can do this, no, you can't do that, oh, yes, this is good, oh, no, that is bad, and like the mood swings go all over the blimmin' place, because I know I'm not the only one. So this kind of project is excellent for that, because yes, there are skills to be learnt. Everything, there are skills. I could have easily done workshops on it. There are definitely skills to be learnt in this technique on completing the projects. Anyway, again, where was I going with that? Yes, so this technique, scrappy applique type methods and free piecing, I'll call it, of free patchwork play is what I'm going to be calling the podcast. I'll talk about that in a minute. But so this is what I've been doing myself, and this is what I'd wanted to be doing with others. But of course now that can't happen face to face. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to, it's something in me. I have to still feel that I am reaching out to people who feel the same as me and who want to make connections and sew together at the same time. And just chatter along, almost like a social, but online. But I think it might work better if I perhaps start at least with recorded videos, maybe. I'm not sure. I've yet to find a direct path. But anyway, if you are interested in any of that sort of thing and you feel you might benefit from giving yourself permission to play like this, to just do these random pieces of fabric that I've just fused onto the backing, and now I'm quilting all the way around. If you feel that you could benefit from learning how to do that at the moment, freeing your mind to play, giving yourself permission, because for some reason we seem to feel it's not allowed almost. Not in my world anyway. Don't forget, I am an ex-early childhood teacher. The power of play is immense for 3-year-olds as well as 53-year-olds, etc., etc. So I'm hoping to set something up with that. Like say, every week almost, every day almost, I have to change plans and adapt to try and figure out what I can actually get to finally work. Yeah, so on that note as well, I have started, well, basic a podcast. It's another way I've thought of reaching people, and I've called it Patchwork Play. And the very first ridiculous little podcast is actually on Spotify and Apple Play or wherever all the other thingies are. I use Spotify, so it's available on there now for you to listen to. But I'm obviously going to be adding to that. And my idea is, whilst you're sewing like this, like you're doing now, but you're using a visual, you can listen to somebody talking about different things and talking about sewing mostly. Obviously, creative sewing, crafty sewing, whatever it is you want to call it, freedom, playing with pretty fabrics, whatever your view on it is, your escapism with fabric. If you wanted to listen to something like that whilst you're sewing, that's what the podcast will aims to be. So that's coming very soon as well. But I have got like you say, a lot of personal stuff going on too, including getting married in just over a week. So bear with me on that, but it's coming, and hopefully some sort of workshops online as well, where you can start to have a play with scrappy applique. Woohoo! Who's a poet and doesn't know it? Okay, thanks for listening and watching. And if you want to join up to my newsletter to find out when the podcast or when the workshops, online workshops, will be around, I'll try and put a link somewhere, either on my profile or along with this post. Alrighty. Thanks very much, y'all. Don't know what we're saying, Trisha. Thanks very much, guys. Okay, catch you soon.